If you're in the group, if you come to us, we have your back. That's the one message I would give to anyone who's on the fence. You want to come in, we will have your back.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here with my fellow coach, Cam, and we're going to talk today about the coaching program and the kinds of people that we let into the program, what the feel and experience of the program itself is like, and the things that we coach these people on and the results that we get them. So how you doing, Cam?
I'm great, Andy. I'm great.
The kind of guys that we accept into the program, let's talk about what they're like. Some things that jump out to me are that they're often very insecure and nervous about being in the program. They worry that they won't be good enough. A lot of them are shy. A lot of them are virgins. A lot of them have social anxiety and don't have a lot of friends. But I think the thing that jumps out to me the most is they're insecure about what they've achieved in life because they feel like they are capable of infinitely more. And they're coming to us wanting to really tap into that potential.
Yeah, I agree. It's like a lack of experience, yes, but like a hunger for like what they've seen from like the guys. Maybe they've seen interviews with you, do people you've coached before. Maybe they've seen the stories of like Ed is a good example. If someone's watched, I know people have mentioned him coming in. They've seen his story and it resonated that they were insecure, unsure about where to go, what to do. But they've seen that it is possible to improve every facet of your life, even if you lack experience, even if you're insecure. That hunger and desire, that's what you see from the moment when they come in and they're like, they've signed up. It's like that longing and desire for something they've seen other people do and they want to experience it themselves.
A lot of guys worry that insecurity is a bad thing. I say to them all the time, no, insecurity is a superpower. And it is something that I actually screen for because we screen to let people in the program. We don't just let every single applicant in. And one of the things I actually look for is this guy insecure? Because what that tells me is he knows he's capable of more. He knows he can achieve more. He knows his potential is up here. And right now he's only reaching here. So that's something that we actively seek out. In terms of what the group actually feels like on a day-to-day experience, I would say it's very free-flowing. People come to us and whatever they need, we help them with. There's a very strong supportive structure. Guys will pitch in. It's sort of a democracy. Everyone pitches in. Everyone gives advice to everyone else. I think everyone's very non-judgmental. Guys will open up about stuff that they've never told another soul, which is always incredibly humbling and just a great experience. I really admire how much the guys open up. And so if somebody's going through something, everyone will sort of gather around and support that guy and just have his back.
The environment fosters a lot of trust on the guys. Like I'm impressed, I guess, the bravery of the guys who come forward with the stuff they've come forward in the group. Like guys opening up about a lot, the list of things guys have opened up about. And obviously it's a private group. We keep what's in there. The sense of trust and safety that guys must feel to be able to talk about some of that stuff is, it really is, gives you a lot of faith in the group and what we've built, that people are willing to open up to that level. And the guys that open up to that level are the guys that improve the most, especially with their mindset and their mental space. If you're someone who really wants to improve your sense of well-being, your ability to feel like happiness and long-term happiness, you're going to get a lot out of that openness that we have. Like any issue can be brought to the group. And like whether you want to come on calls or whether you want to make a post about it, any issue can come to the group. And yeah, it's not just me and you. It's the guys who have been in there. They're elite guys in there, to be honest, especially with certain areas, especially within the idea of self-improvement itself. Like a lot of very experienced guys with self-improvement who know what to say. Forever impressed. Look at what the other guys say to the other guys who are in the group, like the guys who are your brothers in this journey, the guys who are your peers. It's just sometimes the most impressive comments and feedback comes from them. It tells a lot about the screening process and who actually gets into the group.
Yeah, it's a band of brothers. It absolutely is. And it's why I find it insane when people say, now's not the right time for me to sign up for coaching. Maybe they're going through something, or maybe their life circumstances aren't perfect. Maybe they say, when I've lost weight, I will join, or when I'm in a better city, I will join. When I have more money, I will join. If you understood how supportive and welcoming and just ass-kicking the group environment is, you'd realize that the times when life isn't perfect, the times when it isn't the right time, is the perfect time to be in the group because everyone will have your back, surround you, push you, and you will solve these problems in like 1/50th of the time of you like fucking around trying to figure it out by yourself. So that's always been an insane excuse to me. Now's not the right time. It's like, that would be the perfect time to sign up. That's when you need support. You're also showing yourself, if I can make progress when life isn't perfect and it's not the right time, holy shit, what am I going to be able to achieve when life is perfect and the time is good? And then the next time something bad does happen or life throws me a curveball, I'll know how to handle it because I've been through that.
If you're in a time when you're struggling, it's when you most need to get into a group like this, into a coaching program like this, so you can put the stuff in place. Because when you're in a more, say you've got more headwind, you're running with the wind behind you. When you have all those structures in place that you've built from this kind of thing, you're going to make hay, when the sun's shining, because you are so prepared. You're better prepared for when times are good. If you get this stuff in place when times are bad, when you have things that are holding you back. A lot of guys think they have impediments that aren't true, like actual, like affected impediments. A lot of the times it's stories they're telling themselves. And, we're very into analyzing guys, the stories they tell themselves that are holding them back. That's like a huge thing. Like if you want to unpack what's holding you back, we have the skill to figure that out. We can like diagnose what it is. What are your bottlenecks? What are your imagined impediments rather than being actual impediments?
I think if I summarize the Winners Club, the coaching program, it's like the forums on steroids. People are more supportive, more open-minded, more encouraging, more dedicated to their goals and achieving more than even what we see on the forums. And the forums are already a fantastic place of achievement.
If you love the forums, then the group is like the next level of that. It's way more open. You also have the most serious of serious guys standing shoulder to shoulder with you in this journey as well. Whereas on internet forums and Discord groups, you sometimes get like a decent percentage who aren't serious. This is more of a hardcore program. You're like in the trenches with other guys who are just as serious or more serious than you are. If they're more serious than you, they're going to pull you up to their level. You're going to get dragged up by guys who are several degrees ahead of you. And that's a really good thing to throw yourself into that situation.
You are the product of the people that you surround yourself by. And that's why we say this is pay to win. You're basically just throwing money at the problem and saying, surround me by a bunch of legends who will push me. As for what the actual calls themselves are like, the structure is people will say what their biggest win for the week was, their biggest success, and then they'll talk about anything they're struggling with. And then we all sort of pitch in. It's a very like group democracy. We'll pitch in and we'll all give advice and we'll help them and we'll support them and love them. It's a really welcoming group session every single week. It's really, really, really fantastic.
You get to know everyone on the calls. Obviously, you can see the posts and everything, but when you get in like a big group video call and you like meet everyone, it's like another level. I remember someone saying in the last call that we had that someone seemed very different over video conference as opposed to their messaging. That's why it's such a ramp up from forums and Discord where you really aren't getting beyond someone's text while they leave. You're getting like an actual vision into the guys who are like, so your brothers in arms, the guys who are with you day to day on the fight to get what you want and your self-improvement. It's good that you get to know them. You notice when loads of people one person starts having success, it seems to snowball into other people having success at the same time. And like we seem to see everyone have success at once. It's like competition, it's momentum.
Again, you're the product of the people that you surround yourself by. And joining the Winners Club is you literally throwing yourself in the middle of a bunch of other people who are right there with you succeeding. It absolutely pulls you up and makes you go, okay, I'm going to get my life together too. It's such a supportive environment. As for how we built it and how we made it the way that it is, what we did is we asked ourselves, what made us successful? What were the tools? What were the mindsets? What were the techniques and the shifts in ways of viewing the world that allowed us to reach our goals? And then we grabbed that and we reverse engineered that. And we gave that as the coaching program. The philosophy, I think, that underlines the coaching program is we want to teach you to not need us anymore. We want to give you the ways of thinking. We want to give you the resources. We've got tons of material and ebooks, and we've got video courses and stuff in there that we're giving away for free as part of the program to basically train you up and give you the compass to navigate the rest of your life without needing us.
It reminds me of golden era GLL. Me and Andy came up on the same forum with like self-improvement, and there was a real golden era there of this crazy simultaneously everyone was just crushing it. All the big names were crushing it at the same time. There was so much positive energy, and it was really about reverse engineering that incredible moment that we both experienced and putting that into a group of our own. Once you've had this experience and you've experienced in a group like that, it's really good that you also learn how to build it for yourself as well. I said, we're going to make you not need us anymore because you'll be able to find that elsewhere. You'll know what it feels like to be in a successful environment full of people who are chasing really hard goals. And you'll know how to recognize that again, how to build it for yourself, even after you've left the program. One of the best things to be given is that experience of that kind of culture and that kind of program group.
It's a lifelong program, and we don't sell it as that, but it's a lifelong program. It really is. You get to stay in the Discord group for the rest of your life. So we have a private Discord group that's part of the coaching that you get free access to, which has every coaching client that we will ever work with and everyone that we have worked with. There's like an insane amount of value there for the rest of your life for free. You get to surround yourself and network with other guys who are ass kicking. It's essentially a coaching program in itself for free for the rest of your life. Yeah, it's the main mission. We don't want people to need us.
Yeah, you've seen all the interviews that Andy's done with guys who've gone through the program. They are in the Discord, like the guys who have, like, if you've watched Ed, if you've watched the recent guy Andy had on who's doing 45K a month, guys who are smashing it in business, guys who have smashed it with dating, guys who have smashed it, fitness experts, the variety of guys who have come through and the variety of success we've seen, that community has stayed interconnected afterwards as well. And you will get access to that for the rest of your life.
And they all push each other and essentially coach each other. They're all incredibly giving with their advice. If you've got business as your main focus, there's like 10 guys in that Discord that I can think that I would pay like $5,000 to listen to what they have to say. If it's fitness, there's like another 10 guys that I would pay money to hear what they have to say. If it's relationships, sex, dating, love, whatever it might be. They're just such an incredibly advanced group of people that give away their information for free. They will just help you because they all have a commonality, which is they've gone through the program together. So it really is a brotherhood of very, very, very giving individuals. We screen hard for that, obviously. In terms of who we let into the program, we screen very hard and filter for guys who will be a good fit for the program. I personally turn down people that I don't think are ready to change. I don't want to just take someone's money if I don't feel confident that we can actually help them or that they're ready to help themselves. We turn down people we feel aren't hungry to achieve their goals. So one of the questions that I ask, on a scale of 1 to 10, how serious are you about your goals? And if I get like a 7 or below, that's not the person that we let into the program. And that doesn't mean that you're perfectly 100% ready to go all in. Some guys need a push, which is what they're coming to us for. But they have to ask us for the push. We're not going to force anyone. We're not going to sell anyone if we don't believe that they can actually be helped. And so we turn down those people who aren't hungry. We also turn down someone we think isn't going to be super welcoming and super accepting and super open-minded in the group. We very much have it so that the focus of the group is solving each other's problems. So there is a very welcoming culture in there. And I think screening ensures that everyone is on that same page. And then we're all just going to focus on winning.
You got to bring a humble energy. I love talking about how humility is the number one thing you need to achieve any goal. You need to listen to people who know what they're talking about and follow their advice. And you need to have the humility to actually put the effort and work in. I think you need to do that. The hunger to succeed, guys. I said insecurity is one of the biggest drivers you could have. So we're not offended by seeing someone who's insecure. We're thinking, okay, there's potential there because you're hungry. The willingness to be part of like the brotherhood as well. And like the idea, the willingness to turn around and help others. I love to see that. I think it's one of the highest indicators that someone's going to do really well is that they're driven by a desire to help other people at some point, even if they're not at a stage where they can do that. If you're watching this and you're some guy that like part of the dream of becoming successful in the area that you want to become successful in is that you will eventually be able to help other people. I love to see that. And that's something that I would very much like rank highly on someone if I was making a decision on whether or not to work with them.
Yeah, if you're motivated to help others, that is something we call universal appeal. It has universal appeal. If you announce, I want to help other people, basically everyone in the universe is going to get on board with that and say, fuck yeah, that's awesome. You're helping other people. I love that. And other people will crowd around you and then help you. So whatever you give to other people, you get that back in spades. It's something that we also screen for, is making sure that these people have the right mindset and are there to help others as well as themselves. They're not just trying to get without giving back. And in terms of mindset, I would say 95% of what we coach is mindset. People will come to us with a particular goal in mind. They will say, I want to have a lot of sex, or I want to make a lot of money. But 99% of the time, what they're missing is mindset, to the point where I'm even thinking we rebrand as mindset coaches, because that is just what most people are missing. It's the missing key. It's the way of viewing things, the way of thinking about things, reframing things.
When it comes to coaching in a lot of the areas, fitness advice, you don't actually need to know a lot to get into a good body, to get good physique, to get good at fitness. Money, there's actually surprisingly little that you need to know. It takes not that long to learn all the stuff you need to know to make money. Girls, same thing. Actually doesn't take that long to learn what you need to learn. The inputs anyway. It might take a while to put the inputs into practice, but the actual knowledge of what inputs you need doesn't take very long to tell someone. However, mindset and keeping them sane in the journey and keeping guys, motivated, helping them find momentum, helping them when they're on the verge of a breakdown or even after a breakdown. That's the stuff that we seem to spend most of our time doing, because that is the stuff that's going to most help someone in an intensive 12-week program. It is really all about looking after someone's mental state and making sure that they can get the inputs into output. We have all the codes, It's just about keeping you in tip-top shape mentally as you put those inputs into practice and you get what you want out of things.
Another thing to think about there is we live in the age of information. There is infinitely free information on the internet that will tell you how to achieve all of your goals. I give away all of my secrets for free. Like everything is just free on my YouTube channel. You do the same thing. So it's not an information problem. The reason that people haven't achieved their goals is not because they don't know enough. It's right there. It's there for free. It's a mindset. It's that they don't understand how to use that information. They don't understand how to not quit. They don't understand what to do when they're having a bad day. They don't understand the rules of the game, so to speak. A hell of a lot of it is mindset more than anything else. And I think a lot of what we give people is just permission to go for their goals. It's so much permission. I think a lot of the time people just want to be told everything is okay. Everything is going to be okay. You can do this.
And that seems to be a lot of what we do. It's like being like, hey, just a reminder, you have permission to go for your goals. You have permission to be who you want to be. And there are dark moments. There's like dark night of the soul. We see that. We see guys facing their dark night of the soul, and that won't be alone. If you're in the group, if you come to us, we have your back. That's the one message I would give to anyone who's on the fence. You want to come in, we will have your back. We will help you. We will help your mindset. We will give you the information you need, managing you through those dark nights, those difficult mornings, getting you back on the horse to keep going. We've coached a really wide range of goals, and guys were seeking certain things.
In terms of just very general things, people come to us to set massive goals, and then we get them to achieve that in 1/10 of the time. They're basically paying us to save time, to save mistakes, being told exactly what to do, saving themselves years of making those mistakes and struggling. They also come to us for accountability. A lot of people want to delegate their motivation. Like, I don't feel motivated by myself. If I pay you, you'll be motivated for me. So you're delegating that. I think some guys just come for a support network of guys that will give a shit about their goals and will help them celebrate their wins. A lot of guys come from maybe a family or a friend environment where their friends and family just don't understand or support their goals and will in some cases actively talk them out of it. They just want to come to us and say, look, if I want to have a lot of sex or I want to make a lot of money, is that okay? And we're like, fuck yeah. If that makes you happy and you're doing that in an ethical way that adds to the lives of the people that you interact with, awesome. We want you to do that.
It's good to come to a space where people take your goals seriously, always. Whatever goal you want to do, we'll take it seriously. We're not going to laugh at whatever goal you have. We're going to take it seriously and then figure out how to get you there.
We're the facilitators. You tell us the goal and we facilitate that for you. We make that happen. Fun stuff that we've coached people on and results that we've gotten them. You guys have watched all the interviews and the testimonials. You know about all of the sex and the money and all of that cool stuff. We've done tons of interviews about that. Guys who've had lots of threesomes, guys who've had sex with like 12 women in 12 weeks when they'd only ever had sex with like one woman before that. A ton of guys losing their virginity. That seems to be a very common thread. People come to us to lose their virginity. I think some of the unusual stuff that we haven't talked about as much is getting guys to move. That seems to be one of the common things. It just seems to keep happening. It seems to be a really common thread. I think it's very easy to get stuck in the environment that you're currently in, surrounded by the people that you're surrounded by. You fall into complacency and you stop chasing your goals. I'm a big proponent of, if you're not happy, change your environment. Just surround yourself by different people. Just surround yourself by a different city. Move to a different location in the same city. Change that environment, and all of a sudden it locks a lot of that helplessness that we have where we feel like we're stuck and we can't change and we can't do this thing. Just fucking move.
Move, get the fuck out of the situation you're in. When someone's like, all my friends are toxic, my parents don't care, my work is killing me, I'm like, okay, you're in the wrong environment. Everything's wrong. So move. It can't get worse. You're just not moving because you're scared or anxious or whatever. And we can work with that. That's the group. We can just work through your anxiety and we can work through all the bottlenecks when it comes to making this decision. We'll get you through that. We'll get you into a new place. And no one who has moved has regretted it so far.
No, it's been the best decision that most of them have made in their entire life. Other interesting things that we've covered, money is a big one that comes up, and not just doubling your income or starting a side hustle, but we've also helped a lot of guys get promotions at work or negotiate working less hours for the same amount of money. We've helped a lot of guys brainstorm how they're going to start a business. A lot of people come to us and say, I want to start a business. I'm sick of working a 9-to-5 grind. I want to start a business. We say, awesome. What do you want to do? And they say, I have no fucking idea. No idea. And so we take their hand and walk them through that process of how to brainstorm, how to figure out what you're good at, how to figure out what you'd be passionate with, how to overcome that feeling of, I don't think that this will make money. How do I know how to monetize an audience? How do I make that first dollar? We like to get people like quick wins as quick as we possibly can when they join the group. And one of the funnest things to do is get them that first dollar. We push that like crazy. We say, just go make $1. Go talk to random strangers on the street if you have to. Sell it to your friends and family. Whatever it is that you're selling, just get that first damn dollar so that you can see, okay, this has a payoff. Someone will pay me for this thing. I just need to scale it now and keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, selling your stuff on eBay just to grab some cash, that kind of stuff. Just get into the mindset that money is easier to make than you think it is. And you can get someone rolling very quickly. That first dollar you make is huge because then you realize, oh, I can do this. And it only takes $1 for you to realize that's completely possible. The other thing I would add to this is guys who are unhappy with their jobs and managing them through the transition away from a career or a path that's really making them not happy. Make money in somewhere that's not killing them emotionally or spiritually, because, quite a few guys have signed up in jobs they don't like. And it's kind of come out a month or so in. We've allowed them a place to, explore whether or not they want to quit and move somewhere else or do something else.
And that's a beautiful segue into something else that we help people with. Happiness, peace, enlightenment, mental health, whatever you want to call it, essentially happiness. So many people come to us and they will delay their own happiness, or they're in the process of delaying their happiness. They tell themselves, if I make a lot of money, if I get the girl, if I have a lot of friends, then I'll be happy. Okay, that sounds good on paper. But in order for them to achieve those things, they sacrifice happiness in the now. They grind, they work 7 days a week, 16 hours a day. They work at a job or a business that they're not enjoying. They date so hard that they forget to have fun along the way, and they just become bitter and resentful towards every woman that says no to them. They lose the entire purpose of why they had these goals in the first place, which was to be happy. They sacrifice the thing they want to get it in a roundabout way, in a very scenic route that isn't very fun. And so one of the mental shifts that we make people make is, hey, remember why you're doing this. You are doing this to be happy. Let us work on that. Let us focus on happiness. It's like a garden that you need to constantly water. And I think that's probably one of the main things that we end up working on with most of the clients. Let's train you to be happy now so that you can enjoy this journey, which might take 5 or 10 years. Some of these goals take 5 or 10 years. We train you on how to be happy during that process. I think that's why we have a very high rate of people years later saying, holy shit, dude, like you really changed my life. Like years later, because we focus on that happiness thing.
Yeah, if guys want to see evidence of this, you see how many guys are willing to come on Andy's weird sex and BDSM channel and talk about, Andy's channel has got some, stuff that maybe people aren't thrilled to be up against next to in their public lives. But yet these guys are 100% willing just to come on and chat to Andy and do an interview about their time in the group. And they're completely happy to be with their faces up, talking about how great this group was and how much it impacted their lives and how much the coaching changed their lives.
Yeah, and it's just that focus, that unrelenting focus we have on happiness. Like, why are you doing this? Don't lose sight of the goal. You're doing this to be happy. Let's be happy now. Happy. Focus on that.
The other thing I wanted to latch onto with the money thing is the number of guys we've got into content has been surprising to me. Wow, how many YouTube channels have people started and like that kind of stuff?
And
how much
some of them quite successful. One guy in particular, in the first 6 weeks, has like 500 subscribers. When he'd never done content before, he was utterly terrified. One of his videos has 60,000 views. Really getting guys to give themselves that permission to suck at the start and just get started with their content. We've helped another guy grow a blog and eventually set up a coaching business. We gave him another, like one of those like really quick wins. He got $200 and something from a coaching client when he had never coached before.
We had a guy who was launching his own video game. While he was in there, part of what we were doing was pushing him to make marketing content for his video game. That was like a big one.
And he really hustled with that too. He made 150 promotional videos and grew his channel. I think he like 5 times his channel. I think more than anything, we push people and we give them the permission to really go all in because people have unrealistic expectations of the game. They have an unrealistic expectation of how much work it takes to be successful. And I think a lot of the time they come to us and they say, okay, I'm doing a good job with my dating life. I'm talking to like 3 women a week. And we go, what the hell are you doing? You need to talk to at least 3 women a day. Minimum. We'd prefer you talk to 30 women a week. It just takes a lot longer than we think it will, a lot more consistency than we think it will. And I think we get people to reframe that and to start looking in terms of years instead of months. A lot of guys come to us and say, I have these goals. And the first thing we fucking say is start thinking in terms of 5 or 10 years from now. What is your life plan? That's another thing that we go through with people. What is your purpose? What is your life plan? What do you want? Because you're not just here to have a lot of sex. That's easy. We can solve that pretty easily.
Or make
what
money.
Do you actually want? Yeah. They're solvable problems, but what do you actually want?
The main things guys want: money, sex, and fitness. None of those are your purpose.
Something else that we help a lot of guys with is losing weight, adding muscle, style and fashion overhaul. We actually have a couple of people in the group who are permanent members of the group. They pay an ongoing fee to just stay there forever, who help people with gaining muscle, losing fat. They help
Not losing
people
muscle.
with their body. Don't lose your muscle.
The guy who helps with fitness in the group is fucking world class. And then, there's like, I specialize in helping guys with image for dating is the thing that I was so into when I first got into dating improvement and everything. I found that I was obsessed with fashion. That's the stuff I want to help guys with in the group. And then, we've got guys who are like world-class fitness experts, and we've got guys who are world-class accountability experts as well. We just collected this group of like absolute killers. And it's amazing.
Yes. And all of those are permanent members of the group, and they're coaching other people alongside, you and I. So it really is a team. And I think in future, I can see us rebranding and highlighting those guys a lot more, because I think a lot of the audience right now wouldn't realize that if they join, there's people in the group who are there permanently who would just push you to dominate your goals. A lot of guys come to us and they haven't been able to be as vulnerable and open and maybe authentic and honest is a better way of phrasing it with women in their dating life. And they come to us saying there has to be a better way. I'm sick of playing these games. I'm sick of having to try and be fucking perfect all the time with everything I say. I'm sick of this mask that I'm constantly wearing. They just want to be their authentic self. Other things that we work with people and get them the results they want. Building a social life, networking and making friends. We had one guy who got into the LA party scene and ended up making friends with a very famous celebrities publicist and making a bunch of connections through that. We teach people some bedroom skills like BDSM, shibari, rope bondage. We obviously do the dating and the sex and all of that, getting guys outside, talking to women, socializing, all of that. Tinder profile reviews. We go through and make sure your Tinder profile is the best product that it can be, which photos to take next and all of that. We work with guys when it comes to sexual health and erectile dysfunction, performance anxiety. That's a big one that comes up a lot. Quitting pornography. We've gotten a lot of guys off porn. Obviously, anything that anyone wants to come to us for, we will facilitate that. We're happy to have you. If you would like to join the coaching program, get access to both of us and everything else that we've talked about here today. We also have a library of stuff that we've created and we're adding to it constantly. We also have payment plans available, so don't let money be the pitiful reason that you miss out on all this beautiful, wonderful stuff. There is a link below. Click that. It'll take you to a form that you'll fill out. You'll apply to the coaching program, and then we'll be in touch and we'll sit down on a free call, talk it through, discuss your options, see if you need a payment plan and all of that good stuff, and we will have you as part of the program.
Yes, if you've listened to this podcast and you decided there sounds like they're talking about me when it came down to the people we want in the group, then don't hesitate to sign up. We'd love to have you in there.
Absolutely.